Welcome to the place where brains collide with science, wit, and a nerdy vibe. I'm Dr. Angel. Let's dive in where psychology meets a clever spin. Stay curious, be kind, and keep your mind nerdy.
Quick question. You ever date someone healthy and felt bored? Like, wait, you're not screaming at me? You're just that kind? Why? Sometimes when you've been conditioned for chaos, peace feels like a threat. But here's the truth: drama isn't passion, it's unresolved trauma in a costume. Hey, welcome to Nerdy Psychology. I'm Dr. Angel, and in this episode series on the signs of toxic relationships. If you made it this far, give yourself a big congratulations. You're self-aware and, well, slightly dangerous on toxic people. This episode is about what healthy actually looks and feels like. Because, well, when you're surviving toxic, it's easy to confuse calm with dull or safe with suspicious. We're unpacking that nervous system confusion and helping you reset the bar in your life. If you've been nodding along this whole series, hit that subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and stay tuned. We've got more nerdy, heart healing episodes coming your way. Your peace isn't boring, it's revolutionary. Let's get into it. The next one is blame shifting. Again, not taking responsibility. Nothing's ever their fault. They shift the blame when someone refuses to take responsibility for their actions and instead pin that fault on everyone else. Everyone else. It's a toxic pattern. It distorts accountability. It makes you feel like, well, you're the problem, even when you're the one that was hurt. Over time, it can erode your self-confidence. It can leave you walking on eggshells. It can constantly try to avoid being blamed for things that aren't yours to be blamed for or yours to carry. So let's take the friend who has, 3 failed relationships and 5 lost jobs and 2 broken friendships. And well, when they're talking about all these things that's gone in their life, the common denominator with them is it's always someone else's fault and it's always something has gone wrong for them. And why can't people just love me, or why can't things just go better for me in my life? And the clue is they tell long stories of betrayal with no reflection. And often, and I see this a lot, they make the same mistake over and over and over, and they don't gain insight, and they're not growing, and they're not even willing to look at what they bring to the table. And yes, when we're in relationships and we might be the one hurt, what did we bring to that table? Was it not advocating for ourselves? Did we not have clear boundaries? Did we stay in something or get too close to something that maybe we shouldn't have? Like, we need to reflect on that. And I'm not saying that's to give us full responsibility, because it's not, but it's also to look at how this happened and what reflection, how can I learn and grow from this experience or this relationship or this environment? And so, very toxic, very unhealthy. Boundary breakers. Oh, I like to call them kind of like bubble breakers. I remember when I was teaching little kids early in my career, and little kids are like the most boundary breaker people there is. They have no concept of like space bubble. And I would sit and teach my little preschoolers, like, put your arms and like, that's your space bubble. And we don't go into other people's space bubbles without permission, and like talking about just a simple body boundary. But when I think of boundary breakers, I still envision like popping someone's little space boundary. Like, boundary breakers, they ignore requests, they ignore your words, they push your limits. Boundary breakers are those who consistently ignore or dismiss or push past your clearly stated limits, often projecting guilt or charm or excuses or my favorite word, it's an emergency. Um, and things can genuinely be an emergency, but these are people who constantly are, it's an emergency. For example, they might keep calling late at night after you've asked them, please don't call after 9. Or they show up uninvited to your house because I've missed you. And over time, this can leave you feeling invaded, emotionally disrespected. It can leave you just feeling overwhelmed, and you're unsure. You even question, are my needs even worth enforcing? Like, why am I doing this anyway? They're just going to do what they want. So, like, say you need quiet weekends. Now you got a big job and you're working, you put in 80 hours this week, you have the kids to get off to school and their activities, and your job's really demanding. It's an end of a quarter and you're just, I need quiet weekends. And you tell the people around, I need these weekends quiet this month. I just need to recover and regroup so I can get through. And the friend like literally shows up on your doorstep with the wine bottle in hand saying, oh, well, I knew you really didn't mean it. You really just need time with them or your friends. The pattern here is these people, boundary breakers, and I call them boundary breakers in the way that, like, this could go in a lot of ways. And I'm not trying to do a whole thing on boundaries because this could be like a huge issue thing. But these are people who assume they have access to your life. They assume that, like, they're the exception to whatever boundary you put out because they have some special connection or that they have a special place, and that they get your time and your energy and your access, and you don't really mean it when you say it, and that they completely come in as trying to say, this is, I'm doing this for you, I'm trying to be supportive, I know you've had a hard week, but I got the wine so we can decompress. And again, it kind of really leaves you questioning your own sanity sometimes, or your own self, and like, wow, like, how can I be mad at my friend trying to support me? But you are, because you set a boundary that I just need to recover and I need to shut it down and I need quiet time this weekend. And so, again, pay attention. That is a toxic trait. Very subtle because it comes masquerading as something positive, and it's not. It's not. Perpetual victimhood. They see themselves as a wounded hero of every story, especially the ones they write. Perpetual victimhood is so toxic communication style, and someone is constantly positions themselves as the wrongs party, regardless of their role, regardless of the conflict, regardless of what happened, even when they have initiated or the harm. They'll twist that narrative to gain sympathy, avoid responsibility, and flip that focus right back on their own pain. These are the people that could literally trip, step on your foot and break your bone, and they'll have you apologizing to them, because that's how good they can get with doing this. And so, let me give you another example. You bring up that they snapped at you during a group dinner and it made you feel embarrassed. And then they're like, well, I know you've been under a lot of stress, and I can't believe you're attacking me when I'm already at my breaking point. Again, they make you feel like you're the wrong one in this situation. And one had nothing to do with two. Yes, you can be at your breaking point, but I also can say, this hurt my feelings. And they make that twist happen, and it just can be really can really make you question your own sanity. It can make you question what's happening, to where you go from being the one wounded to apologizing. They're really taking advantage of your empathy in this situation. And so now you're the one apologizing for being injured or setting the boundary. That person who ghosts you for a week, and when you check in or express hurt, they're like, I was hurting. How did you not even notice? I guess I know where this relationship stands. What? What? How would you know you were hurting? I don't know. I haven't heard from you. You ghosted me. But again, it starts making you like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? Or you go from feeling abandoned to the victim for, not reading their mind, because like you're so good at that, because like all humans can read each other's mind. And I'm being very sarcastic because we can't read anybody's mind. But so many people expect us to be able to read their minds. So you decline an invite because, well, you need rest, you need time. And then they respond with, everyone always bails on me. I'm fine. I'm just used to being alone. I shouldn't have done this anyway. I figured it would happen like this. And so suddenly, like, your boundary of self care becomes framed as like betrayal and abandonment. So, why is this toxic? Well, this is toxic. It flips healthy communication into emotional quicksand, like literally emotional quicksand, where like there's no way to not feel this emotional weight on you. You might enter a conversation to express a need, but leave feeling like a villain, the bad guy. And over time, you just learn it's easy to not talk about your feelings or express your needs than deal with someone else's reaction that's going to make you feel guilt, shame, bad about yourself. And this not only enables, well, first of all, their bad behavior because we never dealt with the original thing, but it chips away at just feeling emotionally safe, or even self worthy, worthy of needs and worthy of connection in a meaningful way, or worthy of having love, or worthy of being able to talk about something that's meaningful to you. Next one is drama magnets. There's always a problem, and you're always sucked into it. People who seem to carry emotional chaos with them wherever they go. So these are those people that just find the problem all over. It is literally, we call it drama magnet because they are literally magnetized to these things. Your group dinner, okay? So you're going to a group dinner and it turns into this like 3-hour interrogation because they felt excluded when someone laughed and didn't explain the joke. Like, what? What? Or the group hijacker. Oh, your friend texts the group chat with this like vague, dramatic message like, wow, just wow. I can't believe what just happened. And then when someone replies and says, are you okay? They're just like, I don't want to talk about it here. But clearly, you wanted attention, or you wouldn't have put something so vague out there. These are the types of things drama magnets do. Oh, the dinner derailer. You're out for a calm group dinner and everything's going well until one person suddenly accuses another person of leaving them out or giving them a weird look or turning the whole meal into this emotional courtroom scene. Or the vacation person on vacation. You go on this like weekend trip and they forget their charger. And then they spiral into this, nobody ever helps me. Why am I always treated this way? And this whole trip is just ruined. It's just ruined. There's your drama magnet. Every bump or hiccup or thing becomes this catastrophe, and everyone else gets pulled into the emotional fallout. And now this thing has consumed all this time and energy, and it wasn't really most of the time anything significant. It was usually something super small and something that could have been dealt with in a very um, different way, and it has now just sucked the air out of whatever the event is. And drama magnets typically love group, because the more group we have, the more we can rev the drama up and keep it alive. um, and they're not looking for solutions. They don't really want a solution. They want the drama, so they're looking for any way to continue kind of keeping that drama alive. And it really can be overwhelming, because we're going to go through things. There's always hiccups. There's always obstacles. There's always things don't work out the way we thought they should, or we wanted them to, or they just don't. They don't. And it's okay. That's happens. But we don't have to catastrophize and dramatize and drag everyone in the middle. And so when you're coming to that person, so it's not that we just experience, this person just seems to experience more hurdles in life than others. That's not what I'm saying. It's the person who like takes that hurdle and now it's all over all social media and everybody knows, and they have to keep talking about it, and they're just kind of taking it down the spiraling the drain, so to speak, with whatever this hurdle is, or blaming. And so there's our drama magnet, and they're the ones who can just find it or create it everywhere they go. Peace feels uncomfortable at first. Give it time. Healing isn't supposed to feel like a thrill ride, it's supposed to feel like relief. And if you unlearn the noise, remember, love and healthy isn't supposed to hurt more than it helps. You deserve safety. You deserve calm. You deserve healthy. You deserve you fully intact. If this series helps you untangle even one toxic knot, like that video, subscribe, and let's keep this conversation going in the comments. What's one belief about relationships you're rewiring for yourself? And if you missed any part of these episodes, check them out at the end screen so you can catch up on what you missed. Every episode is packed with great information and tips to help you learn and start your healing journey. And as always, stay curious, be kind, and keep your mind nerdy. See you next week.
Stay curious, be kind, and keep your mind nerdy.